Okay, so at least we can do something. So can you hear me? Please. First part. Hang up. Because it's el participio. Pues sí. Hay una canción de Madonna que se llama Hang Up. Colgada.
¿Pero con A?
Con U, pero porque es el participio. Porque el verbo es con A, pero el infinitivo es con A. Es verdad, porque además la canción esta de Madonna se llama Hang Up, pero como metafórico, porque habla del teléfono, habla de que le suena el teléfono, no sé qué, no sé cuánto, porque claro, Hang Up es también colgar el teléfono, ¿no? Pero también como hablando de su sentimiento de que la han dejado colgada o algo así.
Que lo había oído un montón porque dice cuando lo ordenas te queda el simbolito de la arena, te queda colgado.
Hang up. Okay, well, I don't know if the people at home can hear me or not because they're not answering. But anyway, the class is being recorded. We've just started, so we will have to. We're gonna check the activities now. So let's start with number one. I know that maybe the people at home, if you've been working, you can go with us, okay, during the correction. So here, we have, sometimes we cannot reach the person who we're calling. Here are some reasons that you usually hear. Match them with their meaning, okay? So what about number one? I'm afraid she's on the other line. What letter did you write for number one? G, okay? Very good. She's having another conversation on a different telephone. Number two, do you want to hold? Nuria? Number two, B, very good. Number three, I'm afraid she's not answering.
She's not next to the telephone.
She's not next to the telephone, that's F. Would you prefer to call back, Nuria?
E.
Number four, E, very good. This is an offer for you to telephone again later. I'm afraid Mrs. Starr is on leave this week.
Number A is not in the office because he's
Okay.
employed for 2 days.
Well, letter A.
Later.
It's a bit strange, but
No, que me salió la
we automatically say number. Number. Okay, would you like to speak to his assistant, Nuria? Number 6.
D.
D, that's correct. Number 7.
I'm afraid Miss Jordan is unwell.
Unwell today.
Letter H.
Letter H. And finally, by elimination, it has to be C, okay? Sorry, but he's not taking any calls today. Good. Then, number 3, okay? Complete the gaps of the following telephone call with the most appropriate expression from the box below, okay? So, because we have 2 characters, we can do the dialogue as a kind of role play, okay? Who's the receptionist? Nuria, would you like to be the receptionist? And then you're Telma, okay? Elena, you're Telma. So let's read. Nuria? Yes, it's the conversation, so you're...
Thank you for honoring American Dental Clinic.
Very good.
Sylvia speaking. How can I help you?
How can I help you? Sylvia speaking.
Sylvia, it's Telma good calling. For you today.
Very good.
I'm fine, Mrs. Good. How are you? Well, actually, I have a sore throat.
Throat. Do you know the meaning of this? A sore throat. Do you know the meaning of throat? Well, this is it's a dental clinic, okay? So it has to be with your health. This is the throat, okay? The throat is like the common words for the pharynx or the larynx. Well, I'm not an expert, okay? Throat. And sore means painful, okay? Es como dolor de garganta, okay? Tengo dolor de garganta. I have a sore throat, which means my throat, which is this part, this section of the body.
¿Cuál es el throat pain? ¿O va con throat?
It's sore.
Vale.
I mean, it's like this is the collocation, okay? Do you know what a collocation is? A collocation? A collocation is like there are two types of expressions in English. You have free combinations and collocations. Free combinations is something like, okay, you can combine, for example, the letter, a letter, you can say to write a letter, to send a letter, to receive a letter. That's a free combination because you can combine a letter with many options. A collocation is like a fixed combination. So if you say, not with letter, but for example, if you say an order, okay, un pedido. So you say to place an order or to make an order, but not do, okay, not do an order. So make an order or better, place an order is a collocation. It's like a very typical and recurrent combination. So, for example, when you say a sore throat, is like the way to say that you have a pain in here, in this section of the body. Okay, it's like when you say, I don't know, I've got a headache, and you don't usually say I have a pain in my head. Okay, so you can say I have a pain in my back, or I have backache. And you have the two possibilities. But with some, I mean, with some pains, you have a fixed combination. Okay, good. So, well, actually,
I have sore throat. I hope that the Morris has some time to see me this week.
Very good.
I'm afraid.
Afraid.
He's booked.
Booked.
This week. I can put you in for 2 p.m. next Tuesday. How does it sound?
How does it sound?
That would be great. We have to give you the address of our new office. Oh, that's right. We moved it. Yes, we moved it
Downtown. Do you know the meaning of downtown?
Downtown.
What is downtown? Well, that's American English, but the city center. The city center. Okay.
I'm downtown. Downtown.
Here in Las Palmas. Downtown. Downtown is in British English they say central. Okay. For example, central London. Maybe it's downtown Las Palmas. You know, look. I mean, be careful with the pronunciation of ed. Okay. For example, this is booked, not book it, and not move it, but moved, booked. Okay. So we don't pronounce the e. Instead, I mean, we even pronounce a T and not a D. Okay, so booked, I mean this, let me just open this. This ED is pronounced something like this. Okay, booked with a T. Okay, and then moved. It's more or less something like this. Moved with D, okay? So it's usually either T or D, but not move it or book it. Yes, because T is similar to the K, okay? And the D is similar to the V, because they have the same nature. So the K, the sound is voiceless. There is not any vibration here in the vocal cords, okay? So if there is not any vibration in the K, then ED becomes a T, and there is not any vibration either. If there is vibration, like here, move, there is vibration here, so we keep the D in which there is vibration. So that's the thing, okay? Is the difference between voiceless and voiced sounds. Sordas, consonantes sordas y consonantes sonoras. And depending on this, it's the thing. And then, what about, for example, this? Or this? How do you pronounce these two words?
Wait.
Okay, here we have to say waited and needed. Okay. So if wait, more or less, it's very easy. It's very easy because if there are three possible pronunciations of ed: t, d, or it. And when do we pronounce it? When we have a t or a d.
Wait.
So because we cannot say wait or need, we need to add something, an extra syllable. Needed, waited, okay? But booked, so no extra syllables. Book is one syllable. Booked, so book, one syllable. Booked, one syllable. Move, one syllable. Moved, one syllable. Wait, one syllable. Waited, two syllables. Need, one syllable. Needed, two syllables. Exceptions. Have you seen these words before? Blessed. Okay. Wicked. That means evil. 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 Good and evil. Malvado. Okay. Wicked. Wicked. So it's not wicked. It's not blessed. It's not beloved. It's blessed. Wicked, beloved. These are exceptions. Okay. Why? Because, for example, beloved is very poetical. It's an old word, okay? For example, if you, my beloved, mi amada, it's like an old word, an old-fashioned word. Blessed is biblical language. Blessed, bendito, okay? Blessed. It's like bless you, okay? Blessed. You say, blessed be the man, something like that. Bendito sea, blessed be. And then wicked is again old. It's not modern. These are not new words or modern words. They are old. So, but these are exceptions, okay? These don't belong to the former category. Okay. Anyway, so we continue with number 4. Okay. So yes, we moved. A pen handy, good.
Could you call a moment, please? Okay, go ahead, Sylvia. Okay, we are at 73 Avenue, Suite
004. Good.
Please, can you spell that for me?
No, I'm afraid this is not the correct word. Okay, because we have calling. Calling is an ing form.
Yes.
So we need would you mind, because with mind, okay, would you mind calling but not please can you. If you say please can you, you should use spell. Please can you spell it? Okay, but not spelling it. Don't worry.
Sure. That's 720 Arctic B as
In Bravo. B as in Bravo. A as in Alpha.
A as in Alpha, L as in Lima,
T.
Is in China.
Mm-hmm. I.
As in India.
Good.
And C as in Charlie. And 63604. Okay, leader, so you want to stay then. Okay, thanks for calling. See you then.
See you then. Thanks. Bye. Okay. Good. How do you pronounce this? This day of the week? Tuesday. 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 Thursday. Thursday. I mean, normally this is better in English. There is a tendency now to, for example, you can say Tuesday, okay? Tuesday, Tuesday, Tuesday. However, when you pronounce it quickly, especially younger people I mean, English speakers, I mean, the more modern pronunciation is different. So it's not Tuesday, but Tuesday, Tuesday, Tuesday. I mean, when I learned this for the first time, and I was in primary school, okay, I had some kind of extra classes in the evening. I'm talking about primary school. Era cuando yo estaba en el colegio. And I was doing some extracurricular activities, English, in the evenings. I had a teacher who was native, and we were children. She taught the pronunciation of this with a train. Nos enseñó la pronunciación de esto con un trenecito. Además lo recuerdo porque yo era niño. Entonces decía, ¿cómo se pronuncia esto? Y me ponía un trenecito saliendo el humo. Y decía, chu, chu. Y entonces nos enseñó, con esa imagen se me quedó después lo de Tuesday, Tuesday. And this is, I mean, what? Tuesday is totally correct, but it's like old-fashioned pronunciation. Well, not old-fashioned, but the pronunciation of older people. Younger generations tend to pronounce this as Tuesday. Porque, hombre, ya te digo, si eso de lo que yo estoy contando hace ya 20 años y ya me lo enseñaron que esto era Tuesday. Tuesday. Sorry? So, I mean, every time, for example, look at these words. You can say situation, okay? Or situation. This is a situation. Yes, I mean that's like the normal pronunciation, standard pronunciation. Or the same with due. So every time you have this, because for example, how do you pronounce this? Sorry, no, Cal what? Cal? You don't say culture, you say culture, okay? O sea que lo pronuncias como si fuera ch. Okay, yes. What I'm saying is that, okay, this I don't know, in the medieval period of English, this was pronounced culture. And then there was an evolution of the pronunciation. No sé si me explico lo que quiero decir, ¿ok? O sea que esto se pronuncia culture. Si esto se pronuncia culture, esto se pronuncia Tuesday, y esto es situation. y es la evolución, a lo mejor dentro de 200 años, que el inglés evoluciona y esto se pronuncia más Tuesday, okay? But, so I mean, this is not culture, it's culture, or if you say, for example, tune, you can say tune, okay? iTunes. The same with this, okay? Due. Education, okay? Education. Ju. Education. So this is, I mean, I don't know how to. If you look it up in the dictionary, in the connected, this is this, okay? Chu, and this is this. Ju. It's like when you say or jewelry, okay? Jewelry, the same thing. O sea, que es igual. More or less. Lo que pasa es que al acompañarla con la D, entonces ya no vibra. No es je, but ju. Okay? There are videos on the internet. I mean, if you're interested in this, you can go to YouTube, and there is pronunciation to this, for example. If you're interested in this, you can check this video. Which is an American teacher, okay?
Hi there, my name is Emma, and today's lesson is a pronunciation lesson on DU.
DU, okay.
When it sounds like J.
J.
Okay? So if you don't understand what I mean by that, you'll understand in a minute. So this lesson focuses on North American pronunciation.
Okay,
first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first of all, I'd like you to listen to the two following words and listen to how I pronounce them. Okay? Dual.
Dual.
You hear that?
Okay.
Dual. And education.
Okay, can you see? So education. I mean, there is a difference because this has the accent, okay? So that's why we say dual, because it has, we respect the sound, and here we change education. So as I say, the same with all this: education, schedule, individual, procedure. I mean, you can say, for example, procedure or schedule, individual, but it's more, I mean, it's like more, it's easier to pronounce procedure, education, individual. You don't have to make such an effort with your mouth and tongue, okay? So that's why, and I'm sure there should be another one. I think there is another video, this one. This is the equivalent video, but for culture, lecture, actually, fortune.
My name is Emma, and thank you for clicking. So today's lesson is on a very common pronunciation mistake. The mistake is, if you've ever seen TU spell, how do we pronounce TU? So this video is going to focus when TU, and this is the spelling, is pronounced as ch.
Okay, so you have furniture culture, but you also have you can say century or century. Okay, did you know about this or? No, I don't think so, but I mean, this is just like more, as I say, the English spoken by the younger generations.
Mi profesora de inglés en el instituto era una era
Brit-
canadiense, pero británica,
British.
y todo era muy gramática, ¿sabes?
I know, I know. But I mean, this is just if you're curious. So it's not obligatory to. It's. I mean, it's not obligatory to say education. You can say education or situation. So you can. I mean, you can choose whatever pronunciation you want to. I mean, I love these phonetics. I like pronunciation a lot, so that's why. Okay, so what's the time? Well, we have some time yet. Okay, well, I mean, if you like, I would prefer to do a listening task. Okay, so you can check number 4. I'm gonna put the answers in the platform. So I mean, I was planning to do a lot of listeners today, but because of the error with the program, it wasn't. But let's keep number 4. If there's time, we can do number 4 next week. For example, I mean not next week because it's carnival, but in 2 weeks' time. But I'm gonna ask you to do number 5, which is the listening. Okay. So listen to a sale of a flight ticket and fill in the gaps. So this is a listening between a travel agent and the customer, okay, and the passenger. You just need to copy the information. Sometimes it's words, sometimes it's numbers or kind of codes, okay. You know that all these tracks are here in the platform. They are compressed. Okay, so that's number 2.
Unit 11. Listening. Handing over tickets.
Mr. Bordoni, nice to see you. You've come for your ticket.
Yes, your colleague, Margaret, she rang the office and said I could pick it up. Did you manage to get it any cheaper?
I'm sorry, Mr. Bordoni. We had no luck there.
I did leave it quite late.
It was a bit late, but with this fare, there's no fee if you need to change the dates of travel, and it's fully refundable if in the end you can't go.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Anyway, here's your ticket, and let's just go through the details. So that's Toronto, Buenos Aires return, leaving August 12th on flight AC094. Departing Toronto at 23:35 and getting into Buenos Aires the next day at 12:10.
That's not too bad.
No, it's a good flight. Then there's your return. That's August 23rd, flight AC093. Depart Buenos Aires at 16:55. Arrive Toronto 06:35. One passenger, yourself. Total costs. This might hurt. Total cost $3,950.74.
IRA. That includes taxes, no?
That includes taxes, fees, and surcharges.
And it is refundable?
100% refundable, Mr. Bordoni. If you don't go, you don't pay. And as I said, you can change the dates of travel up to 2 hours before takeoff.
Okay, that's good. That's great. Will you bill the company directly?
No problem.
Then that's everything, I think.
Good.
Thanks for your help.
Our pleasure, Mr. Bordoni.
Did you get the words? All of them, or
Sí, pero
how many did you?
porque no entendí lo que dijo aquí. O sea, no sé cuál es mi saber
It's
cuál es.
American pronunciation,
O algo así, no sé si son subcargos o algo.
when you,
Dijo,
well, we haven't seen that word. We haven't, or,
no sé lo que dijo. Taxes, fees, and usually and subjects, digo, que son subcargos o algo así.
not sap, but sap.
Subjects.
Like extra, yes, extra. How many did you get? Did you get the numbers? Okay. It's American pronunciation. For example, the man says Toronto
Yes.
instead of Toronto.
No, es que suena
Toronto.
Remember that?
Yes, remember that especially in American English, when you have this combination, the T is not pronounced. So instead of Toronto, Toronto. Instead of 20, maybe you're familiar with that, 20. Did I tell you this? No se lo dije, ya no. I think
No,
maybe.
No,
Okay, yes, that's Buckingham. Like Buckingham.
Claro, porque tuvo la profesora que tuviese. Ella habla mucho con gente.
But I mean, all of us know, for example, the correct pronunciation of Beckham, David Beckham. Nobody says Beckham, but then people say, Buckingham, Durham, Tottenham, and it's
Bueno, yo con mucho inglés dice Tottenham.
Sorry?
Dice Tottenham, pero cuando
Tottenham.
habla, cuando lo oyen en inglés, pero cuando están retransmitiendo dice Tottenham. El comentario en español, digo, pero si es que te acabo de decir Tottenham.
Yes.
Tronco.
But that's because of, we think that the correct pronunciation is Tottenham, and it's not, okay? But in English, especially, the thing is that, there are many new pronunciations of English in American English. And because of the globalization and all that kind of thing, English is going to evolve in this direction. So the evolution of English, of British English, is American English. So that's why, for example, you have Toronto, and you don't pronounce this. Or you say, for example, stop at the intersection, and that's the intersection, or international, instead of international. Okay, so this is American pronunciation, but it's pervading British English. So that's why, for example, even in British English, you hear 20 instead of 20. So the same thing that is happening in American English is gradually, progressively entering British English. So, and that's why, the same thing with education and all that kind of thing. O sea que, vamos, esa es mi opinión, pero bueno. Que todos los cambios que en inglés americano, la diferencia entre un británico y americano, pues el inglés americano es como más avanzado, es un inglés más evolucionado en pronunciación. Y tarde o temprano, pues el inglés británico también evolucionará en esa dirección. Okay. So that's why. Y por eso se ven como esos ademanes de cambio en este. But anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna play it again, but I will stop, okay? So I stop and then we check what you have. If you have the...
Unit 11. Listening. Handing over tickets.
Mr. Bordoni, nice to see you. You've come for your ticket. Yeah.
Okay. So you've come for your ticket.
Your colleague, Margaret, she rang the office and said I could pick it up. Did you manage to get it any cheaper?
Okay, so yes, your colleague. Okay, your colleague, Margaret. That's another thing. Okay, instead of Margaret. For example, you say Barbara. Okay, so in theory it has 3 syllables. Barbara. But then in spoken English it has 2. Barbara. Barbara Streisand, for example. And that's why some people may write the name like this, okay? Or some people can, you can find this in written English, which is Margaret. It's a reduction of the pronunciation. It's like, for example, you say medicine. And a word with 3 syllables can be simplified into 2 syllables. And that's normal, okay? So that's normal. So good. So your colleague Margaret, she ran the office and said I could pick it up. Did you manage to get any cheaper? Okay. They're talking about the ticket. Good.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bordoni. We had no luck there.
I did leave it quite late.
It was
So late. What is this date doing here? I did leave it quite late. What's that date doing there? Is it like the main verb or the auxiliary? Main verb. And what about leave then? I left it. It's not. The main verb is leave. The auxiliary is did. But what happens and why in the positive? Why do we have an auxiliary in the positive? This is called emphatic, do. There is a use of the verb of the auxiliary, which is emphatic do, okay? You know that do is an auxiliary verb. Well, it can be a main verb. If you say do the homework, okay, or do a favor, that's main verb. But I'm not talking about that use, okay? Do as an auxiliary can be used in positive sentences for emphasis. When you say, for example, you say, we had no luck there. Well, I really left it quite late because you want to emphasize. It's not, I left it quite late. Is I really, you see my point? It's like when you say, for example, I apologize. And if you want to be more emphatic, you can say, I do apologize. And you put in the auxiliary. Okay? That's called emphatic do. So if you ever see an auxiliary, a do, in the positive, that's because of emphasis. It's advanced English, yes. It's advanced English. It's and advanced and certificate of advanced English in the Cambridge level. But this is very normal, okay? It's very, very normal. Yes. I did leave it quite late. Yes. And because with other auxiliaries, you just need to emphasize. Because if you say, for example, I have left it quite late, I've left it quite late, you would say something like, I have left it quite late. Haven't you seen, no has visto nunca a lo mejor en un texto el auxiliar en cursiva?
Sí, pero digo...
Pues lo ponen por énfasis. Porque claro, cuando hay auxiliar, si es... Claro, pero aquí, por ejemplo, como ne auxiliar, o si quieres hacer énfasis, lo metes. ¿Ok?
Cuando vamos de nivel.
Sorry, ¿cómo?
Cuando vamos de nivel,
Yes.
espera cuando miro y dice eso.
Okay.
Así. Énfasis, do.
Emphatic, do.
Empático.
El do enfático se llama.
A bit late, but with this fare, there's no fee if you need to change the date of travel, and it's fully refundable if in the end you can't go.
Okay, so the date of travel.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
That's good to know.
Anyway, here's your ticket, and let's just go through the details.
The
Detail.
details. In English, I mean, you have the words data, okay? But that's very technical, usually for computing. Cuando tú quieres decir datos, en inglés se suele decir details, más que data, que es para,
Excel,
for example, database, una base de datos, or when you're talking about introducing data into the computer, yes, you use data. But when you say, for example, my personal details, son mis datos personales, no se dice data, sino details. Okay, so let's continue.
So that's Toronto, Buenos Aires return, leaving August 12th on flight AC094.
So AC094.
Departing Toronto at 23:35 and getting into. Then there's your return. That's August 23rd, flight AC0 at 20.
Sorry, by mistake, I put it slow motion.
23:35 and getting into Buenos Aires the next day at 12:10.
So what are the hours? So departing Toronto at, listen again.
Departing Toronto at 23:35.
23:35 and getting into Buenos Aires the next day at 12:10.
On flight AC094. Departing Toronto at 23:35 and getting into Buenos Aires the next day at 12:10.
12:10. 23, 20, but 20. It's like Toronto. It's like Toronto. 20, 23, 23. 35.
Stay at 12:10. Toronto, Buenos Aires return, leaving August 12th on flight AC094. Departing Toronto at 23:35.
At 23:35, 30, 35. Okay, so that's not too bad.
And getting into Buenos Aires the next day at 12:10.
That's not too bad.
No, it's a good flight. Then there's your return. That's
So your return. Well, small letter.
August 23rd, flight AC093.
So flight. Okay, it's similar. Okay, but not 4, but 3.
Depart Buenos Aires at 16:55. Arrive Toronto 06:35. One passenger, yourself.
One passenger with double S.
Total costs. This might hurt. Total cost $3,950.74.
I got it.
So 3,950, and then how many cents? $74.
cost $3,950.74.
I
70. And not instead of 70, 70.
that includes taxes, no?
That includes taxes, fees, and surcharges.
So surcharges, like extra. But I mean, this is a synonym. You cannot. Sorry. I didn't notice that you were not. Surcharges, but I mean, you can also say charges. Okay, so the word charge means, or the word surcharge means charge. Like cargo or recargo, something like that. It's similar.
And it is refundable?
100% refundable, Mr. Bordone.
So 100% refundable.
If you don't go, you don't pay. And as I said, you can change the dates of travel up to 2 hours before takeoff.
Okay.
Before, do you know what takeoff is? Okay. Takeoff. Nuria, takeoff. I mean, a plane. It's the movement of the plane. Okay. Take off and then landing. Take off. El despegue and then landing. L'aterrizaje. And then there is some kind of a taxiing, which is, I'm not an expert, but I think something like, like going to the designated parking area or something like that. But I'm not sure. I'm not an airport employee. I know.
That's good. That's great. Will you bill the company directly?
No problem.
Then that's everything, I think.
Good.
Okay. So will you bill the company? Okay. Remember the meaning of bill, but this is a bill, como facturar, something like that. And that's everything, I think. Okay. So we stop here because I want you to have a break, at least of 5 minutes. So that's everything. Okay, and then
Thanks for your help.
Our pleasure, Mr. Bordone.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure, Mr. Bordone. It's a pleasure. Okay, so thank you for your patience with the computer, because again, I'm not an expert. I'm not good at computing either. But anyway, so as I say, I mean, we have time. Next week there is no class because it's Carnival. Sorry? Carnival. Carnival. It's Mardi Gras. The Mardi Gras. If you go to New Orleans, sorry. Yes. You can go to the masquerade there in New Orleans and sorry? Masquerade. For example, yes. So the Fatty Tuesday, como le llaman, ¿no? Fatty Tuesday, el Mardi Gras, el Mardi Gras, yes. But anyway, so we stop here. So as I say, next week it's a holiday, so there are no classes. I will see you in 2 weeks' time. So we will continue with Unit 5. So we still have listenings to do, and very probably I will bring extra activities. Okay, I mean the listenings are online, so if you want to do them or something like that, we will do them here in class, and I will also bring some extra material.